In the last two videos we looked at reported speech. We looked at how to change direct speech into reported speech, and we also discussed why that was so useful, why it's important, and why it's so common in English. We focused in particular on the changes that are made, particularly the changes to the verb when we're reporting something. In this video lesson we're going to look at reporting questions. Now, a question obviously is a little bit different to a statement. The structure of the sentence is normally a bit different. So we'll look at three different examples of questions and we'll look at how we report questions. We'll look at examples to help us understand it. We'll look at the structure of reported questions, and then at the end we'll do a quick quiz to help you practice. So as I said, the first thing to remember is the structure of a question in English is a bit different to the structure of a statement. So let's look at an example to see what I mean. Where do you live? The question word is where, the auxiliary verb is do, but when you report a question, it changes like this. He asked me where I lived. So we still use the question word, in this case where, but when we're reporting the question, we drop the auxiliary verb. We don't need the auxiliary verb anymore. And then we have to back shift the verb. So where do you live becomes he asked me where I lived. Here's another example. Where are you going? In this case, the question is formed by inverting the auxiliary verb be and the pronoun. Are you? Where are you going? But when we report this question, it's no longer a question. It now becomes a statement. So we need to change the word order back to a statement. He asked me where I was going. So we keep the question word, we change the pronoun, we back shift the verb, and we change the order of the verb and the pronoun. Are you becomes I was. So these are both examples of what we call open questions. That means that the answer could be anything. But what about if we ask or if we report what we call a closed question? A closed question is where the answer is either yes or no. So here's an example. Do you love me? So this is a yes-no question. Maybe is not really a very good answer to this question. But how do we report it? Okay, we report it like this. She asked me if I loved her. So what's changed here? Well, obviously the pronoun has changed. You becomes me, and the object becomes the subject she. The verb love backshifts to loved. And finally, when we report a yes-no question, we use if, or we could also use whether. And remember, when we report a question, it is no longer a question. So you don't need to use a question mark, and also you don't need speech marks either. Okay, practice time. So I'll give you a few example questions, and I want you to change those questions from direct speech into reported speech. You might need some more time for this to think about your answer or to write your answer down. Go and get some paper and pause the video after each example. Have you met my wife? He asked me if I had met his wife. Where did you go to university? She asked me where I had gone to university. Do you play tennis? He asked if I played tennis? What time is it? She asked what time it was. Are you going to the party? She asked if I was going to the party. How did you get here? He asked how I got there. Okay, so that's how we report questions in English. It might seem a little bit complicated, so it would be a good idea to go back and watch the video again just so you're clearer the second time. If you like this video and you found it useful, give it a like, share it with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And go to anglopod.com where you can find lots of courses to help you improve every aspect of your English. Good luck, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.